Welcome to this explainer on the startling reality of the hantavirus. If you've been tracking global news, you might have caught a headline that genuinely shocked the world. A deadly outbreak that literally turned a luxury vacation into a frantic emergency evacuation. Today, we're going to unpack exactly what happened, what this pathogen actually is, and why a severe illness carried by everyday pests has public health officials globally on high alert. Here is our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover the 2026 outbreak, the virus and its carriers, how it spreads, the global and local risks, the symptoms and medical realities, and finally, protection and prevention. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the 2026 outbreak. Picture this, it's April and May of 2026, and the MV Hondias cruise ship experiences a truly terrifying scenario. A lethal outbreak sweeps through the ship, tragically resulting in multiple deaths. But what really made the medical community stop and stare was the specific strain involved. It was the rare Andes virus. You see, most hantaviruses don't spread from person to person, but this incredibly dangerous strain is the massive exception. This outbreak forced an immediate international evacuation and vividly highlighted just how lethal and highly mobile this virus can be in our modern, hyper-connected world. Moving on to Section 2, the virus and its carriers. Okay, so to really understand the threat, we have to look at the source. Hantaviruses belong to a viral family called Hantaviridae. Now, unlike diseases that rely on mosquitoes or ticks, these viruses are uniquely tied to rodents. We're talking about species like the Norway rat, the striped field mouse, the bank vole, and the deer mouse. And here's the absolute kicker. The rodents themselves don't get sick at all. They are completely unaffected. They essentially act as healthy carriers, continuously and silently shedding the virus into their environment as they just go about their daily lives. And the global divide of this disease is fascinating. Your geography literally dictates the specific threat you face. In the Old World, so across Africa, Asia, and Europe, the strains cause hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome. This targets the kidneys and has a mortality rate generally under 15%. But over in the New World, Americas, the strains cause Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome, and this one is fierce. It's a respiratory disease that aggressively attacks the lungs, causing them to literally flood with fluid. Which brings us to this staggering number, 60%. The New World Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome carries a devastating fatality rate, ranging from 30% all the way up to 60%. It is an incredibly fierce pathogen, and that number paints a very stark medical reality for anyone living in or visiting areas where those New World strains are endemic. So how do we actually catch it? Let's look at Section 3, how it spreads. You might think you have to be bitten by a rat to catch this, right? Well, scratch that. It's a huge misconception. Most infections are completely accidental and happen without you ever even touching a rodent. The virus survives in dried rodent waste, their urine, droppings, and saliva. So imagine you're just sweeping out an old dusty shed, cabin, or an attic. By doing that, you're stirring those microscopic particles right up into the air. Breathing in that contaminated dust launches the lethal virus directly into your lungs. It's that easy. Other high-risk scenarios include living in homes with unsealed cracks near open refuse, or doing agricultural and forestry work where clearing heavy brush exposes workers. Next up, Section 4, Global and Local Risks. While a cruise ship evacuation makes for flashy headlines, the daily reality in developing nations presents a massive ongoing risk. Just think about the perfect storm brewing here. Rapid urban expansion that totally outpaces infrastructure, poor waste management, and broken sewers. It is quite literally a breeding ground for rats. Add climate change to the mix, and it gets worse. Heavy rains and extreme flooding destroy rodent habitats, pushing them straight indoors to seek shelter with humans. For communities in places like Nigeria, these exact risk factors mirror the public health challenges that fuel Lassa fever, another deadly rodent-borne hemorrhagic disease. Let's move to Section 5, Symptoms and Medical Realities. The timeline of this disease is so deceptive. The virus hides during an incubation period of anywhere from 1 to 8 weeks. Then, when symptoms finally hit in the early phase, it completely masquerades as malaria or the common flu. High fever, chills, severe muscle aches, extreme fatigue. But if left unchecked, it shifts rapidly to the severe phase. For the pulmonary syndrome, that means a terrifying sensation of suffocation as your lungs fill with fluid. For the renal syndrome, it means internal bleeding and kidney failure. You absolutely cannot try to diagnose this at home. And here is the really harsh medical reality. There is currently no specific antiviral cure for the deadly pulmonary strains. None. Treatment relies entirely on intensive supportive ICU care, things like intubation to help you breathe or dialysis for failing kidneys. Now, there is a vaccine called Hantavirus, but it's only approved in parts of Asia for Old World strains. It offers zero protection against the deadly New World variants. Because of this, getting prompt hospital treatment and explicitly telling your doctor you might have been exposed to rodents is your absolute best and often your only medical lifeline. Because the medical options are so limited, let's pivot to solutions in Section 6, Protection and Prevention. Prevention is absolutely our strongest weapon here. You literally have to physically shut rodents out of your life. Seal any structural gaps in your home's foundation or walls that are larger than 1/4 of an inch. Use steel wool and caulk. Mice can't chew through steel wool. You also need to eliminate their food supply. Lock away all human and pet food in thick plastic or metal containers, and secure your garbage in heavy-duty bins with tight-fitting lids. And don't forget your yard. Trim bushes, grass, and weeds within 100 feet of your house so they don't have anywhere to hide outside. Listen carefully to this part. If you do find rodent droppings or a dead mouse, your cleaning method is a matter of life and death. Never, ever sweep or vacuum. Doing that will instantly launch those deadly particles right into the air you breathe. Instead, follow these exact steps. Step 1, throw on rubber or latex gloves. Step 2, mix 1½ cups of household bleach into a gallon of water, spray the area until it's completely soaked, and let it sit for a full 5 minutes to kill the virus. Step 3, wipe it all up with paper towels, double bag the waste, and toss it into a covered outdoor bin. It's really important to see that fighting this virus requires action on 2 fronts. On a personal level, we have individual responsibility, that careful cleaning and safe food storage we just talked about. But on a larger scale, we need coordinated global action. This actually connects your localized home hygiene directly to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. By upgrading urban infrastructure, fixing broken drainage, and ensuring clean water and sanitation, we are fulfilling SDG 3 for good health and SDG 6 for clean water. Public health truly connects your home to the rest of the globe. Hantavirus might be a rare threat compared to the flu, but it is a silent menace, just waiting in the dust. The most devastating part is that people usually catch it doing something as incredibly routine as cleaning out an old room. So take a good look at your surroundings, seal up those gaps, and remember that awareness is by far our best defense. The virus thrives in the shadows of our homes. So, are you ready to shut it out?